Alright, this is Fakafon's review of Alan Wake on Xbox 360. Alan Wake is one of those games that takes a page from the book of Half-Life and has a hero who's not supposed to be a hero. Like Gordon Freeman was a scientist, well, Alan Wake is a writer. But not just any writer. See, in this game is a little twist because you think you're playing a human. You think you're playing a normal guy, he's a writer, makes some money, etc. No. You play a plant. Because every time Alan Wake goes into the light, he actually gets back health. Yeah! He conducts photosynthesis. One would make the inevitable Plant vs. Zombies comparison, but there's actually another difference with the zombies as well, because, well, they're not zombies, they're, some sort of shadow creatures, I guess. It's not really clear what they are, but, I guess basically they're people who were kidnapped by the darkness and they're just like some kind of dark zombies. Like they're all covered in shrouded in darkness and stuff. But that's not it, because you think the zombies would be some people who've been infected by the darkness, right? But there's not only people who attack you, there's also inanimate objects that become animate because of the darkness. So, well, they're not really zombies, I guess. They're more like enemies. To dispatch said enemies, Alan Wake has two main weapons. Okay, no, two main sets of weapons, let's say. Of course, you have your flashlight, which is used to, well, look around, and also to hurt the enemies before you can kill them. Because if you just start shooting at them, nothing much happens. So you need to eliminate them first to tear away the darkness. And once that's done, then you use your weapons to kill them. And when it comes to the weapon selection, well, you have a revolver, have a shotgun, a rifle, and you also have some flare guns, which is basically like a bazooka. You've got some flares, period, which illuminates the enemies and hurts them, and you got flashbangs, probably your best friend in the game. Now, not all enemies need to be shot at to be dispatched. For example, if you get attacked by a car, you don't need to shoot at it, you just need to put some light on it until it goes away. When it comes to the torchlight, there's the normal torch, which is not very good. Then you got the long torch, which is basically the same weapon, but it can use its light longer. And you got the big ass torch, and this one is pretty strong and kicks more ass. If there is one thing I really like about this game, is that the batteries for the lamp torch is not used to put more batteries in it when it's out of juice. There is always enough batteries for the lamp to work, but if you use its overdrive mode, which it does more light, then it drains the battery, and then you can't do it anymore. You can still use the lamp, but it's not going to be as good. And basically, the batteries are basically like to reload your lamp, and not just to make it work again. Like in other games, sometimes you have a lamp, or you have a lantern, or whatever, and after like a minute, it goes away, and you say, well, you know, if a battery only lasts 1 minute, it's a pretty fucking shitty lamp, man. Here's looking at you, Amnesia. Now let's talk about the enemies of the game. Most of the time it's just going to be some doofus walking around with some axes or some pipes or whatever. But sometimes you got some bigger dudes, like with chainsaws and stuff. And like I said, sometimes you get attacked by like cars or bulldozers, things to take the hay. I don't know what it's called, the haymaker, I guess. Barrels, boxes, stuff like that. And you also get attacked by little smudges on the ground, which are, they don't hurt a lot, and you can kill very easily, and they don't move. Yeah. But we've come to the most interesting part of the game, and that would be the story. Now, the story of the game Alan Wake is very interesting, actually, because you play the story, and the story is the story that Alan Wake wrote. Yeah, so you're playing the story of the guy who wrote his own story inside a story. Because he's a writer, I guess. Okay, so here we go. So you and your wife, you go to a place called Pine Lake, or Pike Tree Lake, something like that, to, you know, relax and have some fun. But then your wife gets kidnapped by a lake, and you wake up a week later and you don't really remember what happened because I don't know, amnesia syndrome. So you run around killing zombies and, you know, kicking some ass generally until you find the sheriff, and then from there you try to explain the situation to everybody, but nobody really believes the man who's talking about the light and the darkness. Ooh. And then your friend comes over to help you out, and then, well, there's some FBI agents who want to kick your ass because, well, that's how the FBI works. They never think, they just arrest. And, well, that's going on. You find pages of the story that's going on, actually. So as you play the game, you find some script of what's going on in the game. So it's like, what the hell, spoilers. But it's actually because what's happening in the game is something you wrote already, and you wrote it for the Supreme Darkness Queen of Stupidity because she wanted you to write a story because it would make her stronger. Don't ask, it makes more sense in the game. But you never finish that story because, well, you want to save your wife, so you said, I'm going to leave the last page blank and try to figure something out so I can save my wife and myself. So the point of the game is basically to get back to where you started doing the script for the evil lady and to finish the story so you can rescue everybody. Which is kind of ironic because he wrote the FBI character in only to have the character die, so poor guy, you know it's a real person. Oh, well, I guess that's what happens when you write a story, right? It's an intriguing enough story, and there's some little quirks to the game that makes it more fun. Like, I especially like the fact that you find the script to your own game that you're actually playing, you know? Which also gives you a little insight on what's going on apart from just Alan Wake, because it talks about the other characters. There's also a show that's like a parody of the Twilight Zone, which is pretty funny to watch, and they have like those little mini clips of 2 minutes. So it's fun to watch, but it just sometimes feels out of place that you're fleeing for your life and then you just stop to watch TV. Oh, fuck that shit, man. Twilight Zone's on. So yeah, and the last boss of the game, well, okay, maybe this will be too much spoilers. Ah, fuck it. The last boss of the game is a tornado, which you shoot flashbangs at. Yeah! So that's my review. Is it a good game? I say it is, so it's definitely worth a rent, so go check it out and have some fun. Hey, they even have a dog in it.